One day, a Sixers head coach and Nick Nurse is already talking about how to elevate these players. Today, I will tell you why this man is going to make Tyrese Maxey a superstar sooner rather than later.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into Philly Take with RB. Like always, hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe. Also, ring that bell down below. That way you don't miss any of the coverage. Today, we are back. Nick Nurse is already hopping on podcasts. He was with John Clark on the Takeoff podcast. He was with Lauren Rosen doing the Sixer interviews. It is official, and these guys are already getting to work. Nick Nurse has a lot of interesting creative design strategies, which he's already hinting at. We're going to get into it all, and I'm going to tell you why I think he's going to make the Sixers young stud a superstar very soon. We also have some interesting Sixer breaking news, the thing that everybody has been waiting for. But before we jump into all of it, shout out to the partner of today's video, Mint Mobile. Shout out to the partner of today's video, Mint Mobile. If you out there are similar to everyone else in the world who has thought to themselves at one point, why is my wireless bill so high? Then Mint Mobile is for you. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 per month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network and keep costs low because they sell directly to you online, cutting out the retail stores and salespeople. Why should you pay more than you have to for access to the same network? You can go and use that money to treat yourself to a Sixers game or even buy a new jersey. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. They even offer super affordable family plans with as little as 2 lines. And switching to Mint is super easy thanks to their digital eSIM cards. You can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. And if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, Mint will actually ship you a new SIM card free of charge. The whole process will only take about 15 minutes. And if you get stuck, Mint has a great customer service team to help you through it. So if you are interested in reliable coverage and fast data for a fraction of the cost, go to mintmobile.com/PhillyTake. You can go right down to the description of this video and click the link, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. All right, let's get into it, man. So before we jump into the Sixers, a question for the people out there. Is Doc Rivers going to A, retire, B, take a gap year and then come back and coach after this next season, C, go to Cancun and think about his future, or D, sign up to either be a golf analyst or an NBA analyst next year? Give me your thoughts down below. Frank Vogel finalizes a deal with the Phoenix Suns. All of the teams have hired former coaches that have, had some pretty good experience. And Frank Vogel, another championship coach from his time with the Lakers. Doc Rivers, it doesn't seem, is going to have a job next year. So that is just news out there. The last team to decide is the Toronto Raptors. How funny would it be if Doc Rivers went to the Raptors? It won't happen, but think about that. Think about that. It would essentially be a trade at that point, Nick Nurse for Doc Rivers. But the breaking news that everybody's been waiting for, the signing of the offseason that Sixer fans have been waiting for, he's back. Danuel House has picked up his $4.3 million player option for the 23-24 season. Sources tell ESPN. You already tampered to get him. You already spoke way too early. You barely played him this past year. He was put in the doghouse in October. Might as well bring him back. It was a no-brainer. Danuel House, of course, he's going to go and accept his player option. So we'll see if this is more of a Nick Nurse type of player, right? More athletic, longer, can rebound, can defend a little bit, maybe knock down some more shots. Who knows? Who knows what Danuel House can be under Nick Nurse, but hopefully he actually gets to play a little bit. I mean, he showed up in the playoffs when he got some minutes, and, he didn't play that bad. So we will see how Danuel House fares. Obviously, I'm kidding about being the, big breaking signing. We're waiting to see what happens with James Harden now. That is the next domino. But before we even think about that, before we get to it, I have a question for Sixer Nation, right? If you look at Tyrese Maxey right now, and I had to tell you this past season that Tyrese Maxey averaged 20 points per game, 20 plus, and he shot 43+% from three, right? Remember last season when he shot 42.7% from deep, which was number 3 in the NBA, took a monumental leap after not even starting in his first season, right? And you think about what Maxey's going through. He went through, coming in and getting drafted later than he should have, right? After the whole bubble thing. and then having to deal with the Ben Simmons drama, being a backup, then in his second year, first year as a starter, having to just jump right into the lineup, be a starter, take on a lot of pressure, a lot of expectation, and then the Sixers go and trade for Harden. So then Maxey has to take a step back and kind of adapt to a different role as a secondary ball handler. Then this past season, he's still trying to get acclimated to that role. He's been up and down. He has to get used to not only Harden now, but Embiid, Tobias, everybody else getting touches and not really having a consistent role. And then in all that, Tyrese is still not even 23 yet. So you look at Tyrese Maxey, and if I told you that he averaged 20 points per game, shot 43% from deep, and he did all these other things, and I had to ask you, did the Sixers get the most out of Tyrese Maxey? Was he optimized fully? I bet that 95+% of you would say no. I mean, there's games that I can remember where Tyrese, even stretches where he just disappeared. Where's Tyrese Maxey to have a 30-point game and then boom, he's gone. He's not even getting the ball anymore. And that is due to a lot of different things, but really roster construction and, again, the allocation of touches. That's why it's hard to have a $38 million power forward who needs the ball in his hands because there's so many touches to go around. Then you have the offense built around Joel. Then you have the two-man game, James and Joel. Where do all these touches come from, right? And the fact that Tyrese still put up these types of numbers shows that there is so much potential in the bag. We've seen those moments, right? It's not luck at this point. Like, there have been significant moments in his career where it's like, okay, he can blossom. He's going to be a star. People are just frustrated with the inconsistency. I can't really blame him too much because he hasn't had that role. However, from the first couple times here in Nick Nurse, it kind of seems like he wants to almost give Tyrese the keys. We don't know if Harden's going to be back or not, but what we do know is that Maxey's going to take a big jump. Nick Nurse has helped guys develop like the OG Anunobys, the Siakams, the Van Vliets. He has been huge in that development, and I think he is going to make Tyrese Maxey a star. Here's what he had to say about Tyrese Maxey. Quote, "What excites me is he looks like he just keeps getting a lot better. Not a little bit better, a lot better. I think he has a super bright future, man." Now let's go ahead and take a look at another couple quotes. Shout out to Kyle Neubeck, who put him in his article here on Philly Voice. Quote, "From afar, playing against him was very difficult. Just the sheer speed and quickness that he has, it was tough to game plan against him. Sometimes you can't just beat speed. You can't come up with anything to beat the speed. But what he did and what our experience was, it wasn't just speed and layups. Then he started shooting the ball really well. Then he started making a little further layups, a little further. We were trying our best to get him away from the rim, but he'd still make a lot of those. And that's very true. You know, Tyrese has already taken the step in terms of developing that bag. And, you know, it looks like he's taken that step back from James Harden and just really learning how to become a better offensive player. But that's what he still needs to improve on: the IQ, the playmaking, the ball handling, all that. Sometimes he's moving too fast for his own body. You know what I mean? Just needs to calm down and really just understand the floor. And I think that'll come with time. Quote, "He's got a tremendous chance to improve and take a step forward. And from all indications, he's really hungry to do so. Good worker, good person who really wants to get better." That's true, right? The personality side of it. There are some specifics I would say, maybe being more of a creator. And what is creating? Creating is you're scoring or drawing more people than you're creating for others. Can he make reads? And I think that's the first place I would start, getting him more reps in the pick and roll. This is what we talked about yesterday. This is the main quote where, you know, I said that all year Sixer fans wanted to see that from Tyrese. You saw little glimpses. Why didn't he have the ball more in his hands? And why weren't you running dual pick and roll, James and Joel, Tyrese and Joel? It made no sense. Doc Rivers never tried it, and I wish he did. I wish he did. So we're going to see a lot more of that, and I'm here to tell you, man, with the amount of touches, with the development that Tyrese Maxey is about to get, I think, honestly, that he is going to become a superstar sooner rather than later. And one big thing I think that nobody talks about is, even though he struggled a little bit in the playoffs, being in the playoffs multiple times by the age of 22 is really going to help Tyrese, because you look down the line, right, 26, 27, 28, he now has all this knowledge and this experience. He knows how to adapt to these situations. It's not like he's on a tanking team, you know, for 7 years and then he makes the playoffs and it's like, oh, boom, now it hits you in the face. This is a lot different than the regular season. And I really think that Tyrese is just a sponge, right? He soaks in all the knowledge and, you know, he's already shown the talent jump, right? The talent gap from year 1, 2 to 3. I just think with time and experience and with more volume of touches, he's going to be great. And especially defensively as well. I think Nick Nurse is really going to improve him in that category. There's no reason to believe that, you know, by age 28, that Tyrese can't be like a Damian Lillard type. That's honestly what I think. So we will see how it goes. Nick Nurse, very excited about Tyrese Maxey. He seemed to comment on him a couple of times. And I want to end it off here by just talking about another thing that Nick Nurse said. And here's what he had to say about Joel Embiid and the Sixers mindset.
That we did, throwing everything in the kitchen sink at him, was done out of necessity, really. I mean, we were just trying to stop a really, really, really great player, and we would do something and he'd figure it out, and we'd have to do another thing. And so the list got pretty long in the end, and it kept, you know, I think, again, to his credit, he kept figuring out things just scheme-wise to combat what we were doing, and then he started figuring out things skill-wise from year to year too. So I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore and play against him, because it is difficult, and it is nice to have a player with that skill set and mindset. I think he's a real competitor and all those kind of things, and I think he's hungry. That was another reason I took the job. I think this team's hungry. Yeah.
Nick Nurse says that the Sixers are hungry. And thinking about the future, he says, quote, "I don't really vibrate on the frequency of the past. New clean slate, new mindset." He's ready to come in here, work. And, you know, I like that. He said that, you know, the first convo he's going to have with Joel Embiid is about getting past the second round, right? He knows the demons that exist. He knows that wall that's there. You got to crack it. And he's all about the long journey, really that whole process, no pun intended. You know, and he kind of did that with Toronto. So I think this is the perfect guy for the job, and I'm excited to see how he helps these players take that jump. But those are just all my thoughts. Give me yours down below in the comments section. What do you think Maxey will look like under Nick Nurse? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.